Do you want to know exactly what's working right now in the coaching and information industry to get leads and to turn them into high-ticket clients really fast? Now, I know because my team and I have the data across our entire partner portfolio. We're signing over 20 high-ticket clients every single week, and I can tell you firsthand what's driving those results. And in this episode, I am getting interviewed, and for the first time, I'm actually being able to pull back the curtain to share exactly what's working and what's not working so that you can take these insights and to be able to actually start using them today.
I can run 5 ads in an hour from now, and by the end of the day, get some really good actual data to know what is working so that I can really run with it. Like, that's all the process that we are. When we start with a partner, it's like, great, we're going to come up with the best 10 hooks and angles that we think. We're going to run those ads. We might get 2 or 3 winners. We turn the 7 losers off, and we continue to try and beat our control. And we're able to do that really quickly now to get to an end result where we're able to start bringing in leads within a week, 2, 4 weeks. It start to flowing through, and then we can start building everything out. So that's where it's a case of like, can you do that with organic? Well, no, not if you don't have a big following already. Mm-hmm. And the other thing as well is like, is the following somebody have buyers?
Yeah, huge one.
Like, that's where we've seen people with 1 million+ followers not be able to sell a bloody thing from what they're selling, because the people that were following are not the actual buyers for what they've got. So there's that problem too.
That's something that we're huge on, and that we always explain to people is you would rather just be talking to 100 potential customers and buyers than going viral with 1 million+ views and attracting a huge audience of the wrong people that are not going to buy. If the goal is to scale the business and sell more of your stuff, like, basically.
If you've got like really nitty gritty on this stuff, it would be like, you know what? If I was talking to a business owner and they've got like I have next to no following right now. I sold all of my social media accounts when I sold the company, and I just didn't put any effort into it because I didn't need to, because I was like, I was being able to do $25,000 retainers, do you know what I mean, with 8 to 10 clients. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to do all of this other stuff. If somebody has 10,000 followers of the right people that are engaged, that's a wildly profitable business.
Absolutely.
Wildly profitable business. And I think a lot of business owners would have a lot more peace in their life knowing that they just need to slowly build up to that point, not try and get there overnight, but slowly build up to that point, because they are cultivating the right people. They are having an engaged audience. They are actually teaching their audience to do the right things with their content as well. I think that is actually what turns into a revenue driving machine.
And the single most powerful element to that organic paired with paid is that it's evergreen, meaning that once you put it out there, unless your platforms get whatever, cancel or closed, or it's going to live there forever, and it compounds. It has that compounding effect, different to paid.
So, and that's why I prefer YouTube over Instagram, for example.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think
100%.
YouTube and podcasts, which arguably could be very much the same thing anyway, is the platform in which I naturally gravitate to, and which I naturally see the vast majority of people that we work with. That is where they're going to reap the rewards from their organic content, for sure.
Absolutely. What are the 3 things that you will tell your 31-year-old self about building a successful 8-figure business?
Be someone worthy and valuable enough to be that person that can build that. Focus on having the team that is able to execute on what's needed there, and build the culture and the cadence needed so that you're best able to support everyone on doing what they need to do. Enjoy the fucking process. Don't rush it. trust in the timing of life. The simple act of expanding your time horizon instantly makes things lighter. And when I like talking to partners, founders, whatever, I typically bring on is like, if you felt lighter, is that something you would want? They all say yes. I've never had someone say no. And so for me, that sense, that essence of lighter is this unburdening. It's the weight coming off the shoulders of knowing that you don't have to stress and strain and struggle so much every single day to try and make something happen. And there is a sense of flow and ease and grace that allows things to unfold the way that they need to unfold.
You could skip subscribing now, sure. But imagine 6 months down the line when you randomly stumble back here and realize you've missed out on all of this gold. Now, don't put your future self in that awkward position. Hit subscribe now because your future self will high five your present you.
The last two questions I asked you last time. This time, there's a bit of a different caveat.
I have no idea what we talked about last time, so
absolutely,
this is interesting.
And you have changed so much, so the answers will not be the same. But I added a slight different nuance to it.
All right.
What's the worst business advice you have ever received?
The worst business advice I have ever received. This is something I do with my personality. So I'm going to take your question and I'm going to answer a different question to hopefully be more valuable to the listener. Earlier this year, I went down to see a mentor of mine, a 9-figure business owner and his team, and one of his team members, one of the best media buyers, I think, in the world, was doing a presentation. And essentially, the whole concept of why we came together, and I was sitting in this room and I was like, oh my God, I was like, these are the best marketers in Australia right now in this room. There was like 20 of us in there. I'm like, this is the best of the best. This is amazing. This is so cool. I cannot believe I'm sitting in this room. This is rad. And it was all about how do we do $1 million weeks? So how do you build a 50 million plus revenue business? And this guy was explaining how to scale advertising. And so at the time, this person was spending, I want to say they were actually spending about $1 million a week in ads. Okay. So I don't know how much, let's say, your payroll costs at the end of every month, right? But like as you grow, there is a certain level of like, oh my God, like when you click pay on payroll, for example, do you know what I mean? On the 10th of every month, the number continues to get bigger. Like when you pay, like when I pay my Amex bill, I'm like, whoa, that's a solid number. Like, and you pay it and you happily pay it as well. And so this guy's explaining how to scale ads and the amount of money. Let's say if you're clicking pay Amex $1 million a week, there is a certain level of fear that might be coming up. And one of the people sitting, one of my colleagues and peers, sitting near me, essentially was asking a question, which was like, how do you get over the fear? How do you actually continue to pay more and more and more in ads? And you don't know necessarily what the outcome is of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you going to put $100,000 down right now to hopefully, do you know what I mean, make $200,000 or $300,000 in God knows what time you hopefully know, but you don't really, and all of this kind of stuff? And he turned around and said the best piece of advice I've ever heard someone. And it was just great in that context when someone was trying to walk on eggshells around what their actual problem was. And he turned around and looked at him and goes, work on yourself. And I lost my shit. I was thigh slapping laughing because I was like, that's the best piece of advice. Work on yourself. And that's what we need to be doing, because us as founders, the capacity, the limit to our business is us. It's us. Your business is only where it's at right now because of you and your limitations. My business right now, the Rainmakers, is only where it's at right now because of my limitations. And when you truly grasp that, yes, there's a factor of, fuck, I'm flawed. Do you know what I mean? I've made mistakes. I have these limitations. This is what's truly causing my business not to go to where I would like it to be. But there is also agency and freedom that comes from that as well. And so the worst piece of advice is essentially trying to focus on all of these other, do you know what I mean, tactical things and avoiding what's truly at the basis of it, which is like working on yourself. Now, does that mean that you need to be doing all of the psychedelics and all of the therapies and seeing every healer under the sun, which I've done? No, that's just not the case whatsoever. But there is a case of understanding of how you operate, how you see the world, and how you show up. And if you're simply not doing the actions needed, you will not get the result that you are thinking you deserve.
What's the best tactical business advice you have ever received in order to build an 8-figure business?
Hire A-grade talent.
Last question. On our last round, we ended up with, you sharing some of those difficulties that you were going through, and that it would be interesting as well to see where you were, which we just covered at the beginning of the episode. What's the biggest challenge that you're currently dealing with?
My biggest challenge right now with everything is something that I'm actually surprisingly happy knowing that I'm getting better at it. And it is accepting and allowing joy to be a part of the process. And how I used to be so utilitarian. I'd wake up early in the mornings to get more stuff done, to be more productive. I'd go for a walk because I know I need to get my steps up. We do the sauna, we do the ice bath, we do all these things. Like everything had a very practical reason why I was doing it. And joy was never a part of that equation. And I'm now allowing joy to be a part of my life and a part of my process. And so for me, that hard part has been becoming that person and surrendering and allowing and evolving into the person that can now accept that. And it feels so goddamn good because there is that level of, I am flawed, I have made mistakes, I have limitations, but I still admire myself. And that to me is probably the greatest success that I've had thus far.
We are not only building the most influential podcast and source of information for founders and entrepreneurs to build a business that they don't grow to hate, essentially, but also because we're bringing the best of the best in here, we are also putting together what will be one of the top books for founders to accomplish that. So all I'm about to ask you is to write in here anything you will want to pass on for the future generation of founders and entrepreneurs.
I'll do my very best.
Anything you wish you knew, write as much as you want, just know, and if you can do it on this side, that would be great. Just know that this is your legacy. This is what you're leaving behind. If this is your last day on earth and you have to pass on something for the next generation of founders and entrepreneurs, that's what you're passing on. I'm excited for this one because brother Chris loves writing. What do you write?
Dear beautiful human, you are reading this because you can leave this world better than you found it. It is your duty, your mission, your passion to just be you. Trust yourself, trusting the timing of your life, and embrace the good, the bad, and all that is in between. You've got this.
Hey Mate, if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Seriously, the fact that I get to sit here and share what I've learned and hopefully make your life a little bit better, that means the world to me. And this is why I do it, because years ago I was searching for the same answers and now I get to pass it on. So if you haven't hit subscribe yet, well, let's not make this weird. Go ahead and do it, because I'm going to keep showing you more of the insights with a few of the bad jokes, but hopefully something that actually helps you move forward. So I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.